Welcome back to OC Outdoorsman. As you can see, I'm out on my own today on a cold, choppy morning. Excuse this microfiber cloth around my face, but I bought a brand new Columbia neck gaiter and totally forgot it this morning, so I'm gonna have to make do with this to protect me from the elements for now. So here I am on my way out to the kelp forest, and it's hard to tell, but the conditions are rather choppy. The wind was picking up. And the water temperature was around 66 degrees. I'm at about 39 feet as far as depth, and you'll see that on the fish finder here. Here's another angle. As you can see, the swells were picking up, wind was blowing in my face, which really slowed me down. I could typically get to the kelp forest in about 30 minutes. Today it took about 45 minutes. So not ideal conditions, but I had to battle through it. Here I am, finally at the kelp forest. As you can see from my fish finder, I'm surrounded by it. Only a couple of boats out, no other kayakers. Time to go fishing. I noticed a bunch of grunions swimming around the kayak, so I took out my sabiki rod and caught a decent sized one. They're getting pretty big now. I drop my sabiki rig back in, and just like that I catch two more grunion. The morning was really slow. I was only able to catch grunion in that one spot. No sheepshead, bass, or anything was biting, so I decided to move to a new part of the kelp forest. Again, I had to pull up my rudder and mirage drive, and here I am just paddling to a new spot. And things were so slow. It was about 30 minutes before I landed my first sheepshead, and this one was undersized, so I ended up letting this one go. I cast out a shrimp, and as soon as it hits bottom, it gets attacked by this unusual looking fish. Comment below if you know what this is. I've never caught one like this before, but it's got the teeth of a sheep's head. It's always a nice surprise to land a calico bass using shrimp. Here's a short one, but for their size, they fight pretty well. This new spot had lots of potential. You could see the water was at about 67.5 degrees, depth 42 feet. The bite was really starting to pick up. It was slow all morning long, and keep in mind, right now it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and things were just starting to pick up. As soon as the shrimp hits bottom, I could feel the subtle taps, which is typical of a sheep's head, which they tend to nibble on the bait. They steal a lot of the shrimp right off the hook, but I was able to set the hook in time to land this keeper sheep's head. When fishing for sheepshead in thick kelp like this, it helps to have thick line. I'm using 20-pound test, which is pretty heavy for a fish of this size, but you have to remember they tend to get tangled up in kelp, so it really does help to have that heavy monofilament or braid. So you can see this one clearly dived into the kelp, and I had to horse him through to get him out, but I didn't lose the fish, so it's good to have the 20-pound test in times like this. I finally get him on the yak and decide to measure him. This one's a little shy of 12 inches, so I end up letting him go. I drop another line and land another sheep's head. This one was a male, and he was right at 12 inches. I think I ended up letting this guy go because he was right on the border. Right after that, I land another male sheep's head. You can see him coming right up here. Managed to avoid the kelp with this one, but he was a decent fish, so I ended up keeping this guy. This was just a really hot spot. Every cast I was landing fish, so I'm going to speed up the footage for the next few fish here. As you can see, I was just catching them left and right. I caught several of these whitefish, but they were on the small side, so I let most of them go. I think I might have kept one. Might have been this one here. Here's this unusual looking fish again. I must have caught 3 or 4 of them today. Again, please comment below if you know what kind of fish that is. So after that fish, it was pretty much California sheepshead for the rest of the day, and it was really odd. Things didn't really pick up until after 2 o'clock this afternoon, but it was non-stop. A lot of fun. I caught so many fish this day, I don't want to bore you with all the footage. So this last one was probably the toughest fight of all the fish that I encountered today. It was an average sized sheepshead, a male sheepshead, but he really got stuck in the kelp. You could see me releasing the bail over and over again, trying to untangle him from the kelp. He just would not budge. It took a while for me to get him out of there, but in the end, I was able to horse him through. It was took quite a bit of work though. So here's a better shot of him. I'm going to slow down the footage so you can see him better. You can see the kelp stuck to his face there, but I got him out.